Willow Hart had always believed that fear was fuel. At 27, with 3.2 million followers and a sponsorship contract that required her to seek wild, authentic experiences, fear had become the currency of her career. But on the afternoon she turned off Highway 285 onto an unmarked gravel road curling between the Rockies, she felt something she hadn't felt in years, an unprovoked, physical chill. "Strange," she said to her livestream audience, adjusting the phone clip to her dashboard. "According to the GPS, this road doesn't exist." Thousands flooded the chat instantly, urging her forward. She smiled, amused. Viewers loved the forbidden. They loved when she flirted with danger. And Willow, after a string of dull brand-approved videos, needed something viral. The gravel hissed under her tires. Tall pines leaned overhead as if listening. Her subscribers spammed comments about how cinematic the setting looked, how it felt like she'd entered a horror film. Willow laughed, though something in her chest tightened. A bend in the road revealed a slope of untouched snow, the sun cutting through branches like shattered glass. She lifted the camera. "I could live out here," she said. "No traffic, no noise, no." A metallic snap silenced her. The car lurched downward. Willow jerked forward, fingers gripping the wheel. The live stream chat exploded. "What was that?" she breathed. She stepped out. Wind slid cold fingers across her face. The front tire sagged in a mess of shredded rubber. Embedded beneath it, she didn't see at first, was a crude strip of iron spikes, welded together like teeth. The chat erupted with laughing emojis. Scripted. Fake trap LOL. She planted it. Willow frowned. "I didn't." Her voice sounded small, wrong, even to herself. She knelt, brushing dirt from the spikes. They were old, rusted, handmade. Not a prank. Not a leftover from construction. Something intentionally placed here. A strange quiet settled. The kind that doesn't belong to nature but to surveillance. She straightened, heart pounding. Branches moved, or she thought they did. The live stream glitched, freezing her face mid-blink. "Oh come on," she muttered, slapping the phone. It flickered back. Comments flooded in. Then a new message appeared, pinned by the platform itself. "End stream for safety violation." "What?" Willow said. "I didn't trigger anything." Her phone buzzed with a private notification. "An unknown user, turn back." She swallowed. Okay. That's enough weirdness for one day. But when she reached to open the car door, she froze. Footprints, large, deep, barefoot, trailed from the tree line to the back of her vehicle. She scanned the trees, pulse thrashing. "Guys," she whispered. "I'm not alone out here." The live stream glitched again. The screen smeared into static before returning with a stutter. Chat exploded with theories. ARG? Promo stunt? Hidden cameraman? Willow backed toward the driver's seat. The shadow of the pine stretched long across the ground. Then she saw movement reflected faintly in her car window. Someone was standing behind her. She spun. Nothing. When she turned back to the camera, her voice fell to a thin tremor. "Someone's here." And for the first time since she'd become famous, Willow Hart wished desperately that she were faking. The chat swelled into a flood of disbelief. 100,000 viewers typed at once, drowning the screen in mockery and excitement. Willow's popularity meant every moment was suspect, every gasp assumed a marketing tactic. She climbed back into the driver's seat, shaking. She tried to start the car even though she knew the tire was ruined. The engine growled but wouldn't move the vehicle more than a groan's length. "This isn't a prank," she said, trying to keep her voice steady. "Someone put that spike strip there." A viewer named Rocky Road Hunter 89 typed, "Show us the guy behind you then." Another wrote, "You're shaking the camera on purpose." Willow held the phone up, slowly panning the woods. "If you see anything, tell me," she said. Some viewers swore they saw a shape between the trees. Others argued it was compression artifacts. One user, Grey Hollows, typed repeatedly, "Don't move. He's watching you." She blocked the account. The last thing she needed was trolls escalating the panic. She checked her location again. The GPS ran in circles before resetting to a blinking dot in a blank expanse. No roads. No trails. No data. "Maybe someone's messing with the signal," she told her viewers, though even she didn't buy her own explanation. She tried calling 911, but the call cut out before connecting. She texted her friend, Logan, a filmmaker she occasionally traveled with. Strange road. Flat tire. Think someone's out here. Send help? Delivered. Not read. She slumped back, staring at the trees. I'll walk toward the highway. It can't be far. But when she stepped outside again, she noticed something sickening. Her own footprints, made minutes earlier, had vanished into smooth, untouched snow. As if she had never walked on it at all. The chat erupted in capital letters. Good CGI. Someone erased them. Snow's fake LOL. She wanted to scream at them. Instead, she forced a steady breath. She walked toward the tree line. Snow crunched under her boots, but she didn't look down. She didn't want to see whether her steps were being erased behind her. Willow. Her name drifted through the trees. A man's voice. Come. Quiet. Close. She whipped around. Who's there? No one answered. Then her phone buzzed again. A message from Logan. Are you alone? Yes, she typed with shaking fingers. Why? He responded instantly. I'm watching the stream. Someone is behind your car. Willow spun, nearly slipping on the snow. The live stream lagged again, showing a frozen still image of her vehicle. She zoomed in. Nothing. No figure. No movement. Just silence. Her viewers, now convinced of a hoax, begged her to do something dramatic. Fine, she said, voice cracking. I'm ending the stream. But when she pressed the button, a message flashed. Stream cannot be terminated. Remote override active. Remote override? Who can override my stream? She said, horrified. A new pinned comment appeared. You're not done yet, Willow. She didn't recognize the username. Neither did anyone else. And then the car door slammed shut on its own. Willow lurched back from the car as though it had struck her. The slam echoed down the empty road, bouncing between the pines like an accusation. She stared at the closed door, her breaths turning fast and uneven. Her audience, hundreds of thousands by now, had grown eerily quiet. Even the trolls hesitated. I didn't close that, she whispered. You all saw that. I wasn't touching it. The chat hesitated, then exploded again with theories. Hydraulics. Magnet trick. Hidden crew. She lifted her trembling hand and pointed the camera at the car. Do you see any crew? Someone wrote, look at the window. Her stomach dropped. She zoomed in slowly, phone shaking. The glare from the snow made it nearly impossible to see, but for a brief second, the kind that feels too fast to trust, she caught the outline of a figure in the driver's side window. Broad shoulders. A head tilted slightly forward. No face. She stumbled backward so fast she slipped in the snow and landed hard. The camera spun. She heard her own heartbeat louder than the wind. That's it, I'm walking, she gasped. She grabbed her backpack and phone, slung them over her shoulder, and started trudging down the road. Her chat tried to stop her. Stay with the car. Don't go deeper. You're going the wrong way. And one message that returned from the same account she'd blocked earlier, somehow unblocked. You are not alone on that road. She ignored them, focusing on her pace, on the rhythm of her steps. She told herself if she just kept moving, she'd reach the highway. She'd find help. Everything would make sense again. The road stretched ahead in a straight gray ribbon between black trees. But after 10 minutes, 20, 30, nothing changed. No bends, no clearing, no sign of civilization. Every tree looked identical, as though the forest were rearranging itself behind her. Still the chat followed, thousands tracking her steps in real time. The view count climbed past 500,000. This wasn't entertainment anymore. It was voyeurism. Willow, stop. Her heart froze. Not from the trees, no, the voice came from her phone. She lifted the screen in horror. The voice was coming through the live stream comments. The words weren't typed. They were spoken. A man's voice layered under her viewers' chatter, sinking through the static like a whisper through gravel. She swallowed hard. Who said that? A new user appeared in the chat, Backroad Keeper. His profile image was a blank silhouette. You were not supposed to take this road. She typed furiously, palms sweating. Who are you? Turn around. She didn't. She kept walking, even as her legs shook with each step. Then she heard snow crunch behind her. Slow, deliberate footsteps matching her pace. She didn't turn around. Fear pinned her forward like a hand pressed against her back. The steps grew closer. Crunch. 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 Her viewers flooded warnings. He's behind you. Run. Willow, turn around. She couldn't. Her phone flashed again with the same message Logan sent before. Are you alone? No, she whispered. This time, she wasn't answering him. She was answering the truth pressing itself into her spine. She finally turned. The road behind her was empty. But her car, supposedly miles away now, sat only a few feet behind her, exactly where she had started. It hadn't moved. She had. Willow staggered backward, staring at her car as though it were a monster. She had walked for what felt like an hour, yet the vehicle sat behind her exactly where she'd left it, spike strips still jutting out from its flattened tire like a warning. The realization hit her with cold, breath-stealing clarity. The road wasn't behaving like a road. Her chat detonated. Loop effect. CGI. This is genius marketing. Best stream of the year. She wanted to scream at them. This wasn't content. This wasn't entertainment. But the view counter ticked upward, past 700,000. People weren't leaving. They were flocking to her fear like carrion birds. You're still walking toward the car, someone typed. Another wrote, no, she's walking in circles. A third, the GPS glitch is staged. Willow ignored them, her pulse thundering. She forced herself to circle the car, scanning for the figure she'd seen in the window. The glass reflected only the white sky and the dark pines. Nothing else. She tried the doors. Locked. All of them. She hadn't locked anything. Okay, she whispered. Someone's been inside. Her breath curled in the air as she leaned close to the window. The interior was still, too still. She pressed her forehead to the cold glass, trying to see if anything looked disturbed. Then she froze. In the corner of the window, reflected faintly, was the shape again, a tall silhouette hovering directly behind her. Shoulders like stone. Unmoving. As if carved from the forest itself. She spun so fast she nearly dropped the phone. No one. No footsteps now. No breathing. Just that terrible silence again. I know you're here, she shouted into the trees, her voice shaking. Show yourself. The snow absorbed her cry. A new comment appeared at the top of her stream, pinned automatically, not by her. He already has. Her fingertips tingled with panic. Who's doing this? The user backroad keeper returned. The road shows what you refuse to see. She typed angrily, stop speaking in riddles. You made it content. She stiffened. Excuse me? Every danger you found, you turned into a spectacle. You never walked away. Not from cliffs. Not from storms. Not from the fire in Utah that nearly killed you. You performed. Her skin crawled. This person knew her past streams, intimately. Who are you? She demanded. The one who watches when the watching matters. Her chat loved it, another mystery to solve. They began dissecting the username, creating conspiracy theories, demanding she keep going. Some viewers even sent paid super chats. More scares please. Push the horror angle. Stay right there, it's getting good. Willow stared at the messages, stunned. They didn't believe her, not even now. A new comment arrived from a username she recognized instantly, moderator_system. But moderators didn't send comments. They only removed them. The message read, stream integrity risk detected. Do not attempt to leave the area. Willow gasped. The platform is watching me? Chat exploded. OMG, is this a sponsor? Platform lore drop? Are mods part of the ARG? Stop it, she said. This isn't an ARG. She tried to force the stream off again. Stream termination disabled. Her hands shook as she backed away from the screen. Then her phone vibrated violently. A video file began downloading automatically, something she hadn't tapped. Her heart hammered as she opened it. It was footage of her, tonight's live stream, played back from a different angle. As if shot from the trees. She watched herself kneeling beside the spike strip. And behind her, standing tall and unmistakable, a man-shaped figure overshadowed her like a nightmare. Her viewers went silent. Finally, someone typed what everyone feared. Who filmed that? Willow looked at the trees. Something moved. Not fast. Not slow. But deliberately. Closer. Willow's breath hitched as the branches shuddered with a sound too rhythmic to be wind. The figure, whoever he was was no longer hiding in glitches or reflections. He was moving with intent, stalking the perimeter of the trees with the patience of a predator and the confidence of someone who had walked this road long before she ever arrived. Her viewers finally began to panic. Call for help. It's real, run. He's circling you. But their panic came far too late. Willow backed toward the center of the road, eyes locked on the shifting dark between the pines. Her breath came in short bursts, her boots scraping the gravel. I know you're there, she said, voice trembling but louder than before. Stop hiding. For a long moment, nothing moved. Then a soft crunch of snow echoed from behind her. She spun around. The figure stood deeper in the woods now, partially concealed, taller than she'd realized. Not bulky, just unnaturally long-limbed, his posture too straight, too rigid. His head tilted as though studying her. Willow raised her phone with shaking hands. The live-stream chat turned into a wall of all caps. Her viewers, now nearly 1 million, begged her to run, to fight, to flee into the forest, to stay put, to scream, to turn back, to keep recording, to do anything that might satisfy their frantic voyeurism. Then the figure stepped forward. Willow bolted. Not toward the forest, not toward the car, she ran blindly down the road, breath raw in her throat. The world blurred around her. Branches whipped past. Pebbles scattered under her boots. Her lungs burned but she didn't dare stop. Her phone shook violently in her grip, stream flickering. The view count spiked again, 1.1 million now. They were watching her like a televised hunt. The chat raged. He's following. Faster, Willow. Look behind you. She didn't. Her legs tightened with every step, the adrenaline pushing her further than she thought possible. She ran until the stitch in her side flared sharp enough to choke her. Then, suddenly, her foot caught on something buried in the snow. She stumbled and fell hard, her palms scraping ice and gravel. The phone tumbled but landed screen up, still broadcasting. The camera caught Willow clawing her way back to her feet. And in the background, sharp, unmistakable, the figure stepped onto the road. The chat erupted. Oh God. He's real. Run. Willow grabbed the phone and sprinted again. But as she ran, she realized something horrifying. The road wasn't changing. Nothing around her shifted. It was as if she were sprinting inside a looping corridor. No, 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 please, she whispered, stumbling to a stop. The figure was closer now. She raised the phone toward him, but the image on her screen didn't show the figure's silhouette. Instead, the live stream displayed her car, again, only a few feet behind her, just as before. The viewers went silent. The road was folding around her like a cage. Willow backed away, tears slicing down her face. What do you want? The figure didn't answer. Instead, a single comment appeared in the chat. Turn around, Willow. She didn't want to. Every nerve told her not to. But the force of dread pushing against her spine made standing still unbearable. Slowly, trembling, she turned. Her car door was open. But she hadn't opened it. Something sat in the driver's seat, leaning forward, as if waiting. Not a creature or a man or a stranger. The shape was wrong. The chat tried to describe it, but no two people agreed on what they were seeing. Some said it looked like a man. Some said it looked like a shadow cast by a man who wasn't there. Some insisted there were two figures, one in the car, one in the trees. And one viewer wrote the comment investigators would later highlight. The road didn't bring her here. He did. Willow's lips parted, a soft sob escaping. Why me, she whispered. And for the first time, the figure in the woods answered. Not aloud, but in the chat. Because you showed the world everything, except the truth. Willow's chest heaved as she pressed herself against the icy hood of her car. The live stream didn't falter, her phone captured every second of her terror, broadcasting it to nearly 1.3 million viewers. Yet she could feel the weight of eyes far heavier than those behind a screen, eyes that knew her in ways no fan could. The figure in the woods didn't move, but his presence was a pressure in the air, like the gravity of someone who had waited a long time. And then the chat stilled. Something had silenced even the trolls. A single message appeared from Backroadkeeper. You've lied, Willow. You've entertained. You've hidden. Her throat went dry. She realized, with a sick twist of dread, that this was not about the live stream. It was about her past. The figure stepped closer, yet remained shrouded by shadow. She noticed a glint in the fading light, a watch, a knife, something metallic catching the sun. Her stomach turned. I don't understand, she stammered. I've done everything. I've shown everything. The figure raised a hand. Slowly. She noticed then the papers taped to his chest, small, printed images of her videos, maps of roads she'd traveled, screenshots of live streams, even personal photos taken at her apartment in Denver. The world saw your adventures, the chat typed automatically, as if he controlled it. But no one saw the harm you caused. Willow's mind raced. Her vlogs were harmless, or so she thought. The fires in Utah, the cliffside stunt in Colorado, the viral canyon livestream that went horribly wrong, each had left scars. Property damaged. Local authorities angered. People had followed her paths blindly, imitating her stunts. She had entertained millions, yes, but had she also endangered lives? The figure's presence pressed closer. Willow took an instinctive step back. Her boots skidded on snow, revealing a faint, unnatural pattern. The footprints she thought she had left earlier reappeared behind her. And they weren't her own. The chat lit up. Look at the footprints. He's copying her steps. Willow, turn around. She turned just in time to see him emerge from the pines fully. The man wasn't human, not entirely. His limbs were elongated, skin pale, face obscured by shadows. But his eyes were frighteningly familiar. They were every viewer's eyes, multiplied, staring at her with judgment. The realization crashed down, this wasn't just a stalker. This was the embodiment of all the people she had influenced, all the reckless fans who had followed her lead, all the danger she had glorified. Why, she whispered. Her voice was hoarse. The chat answered for him. Because you hid the consequences. Her phone buzzed violently. A new message from Logan appeared, delivered late, though it had been sent hours ago. Willow, it's on the map now. The road isn't real. They're not real. Stop streaming. Stop moving. They've built it for you. What do you mean? She typed desperately. The figure pointed toward the forest. The trees shimmered, bending slightly, revealing a road, one that had never existed on maps. A road that appeared to have no beginning and no end. The chat erupted into chaos. Her viewers argued furiously, was this a glitch? A viral AR stunt? Then Backroadkeeper wrote, you wanted reality to be content. Reality is here. And it's angry. Willow's stomach turned. She understood finally, the road, the figure, the loop, the unreachable highway, all were a manifestation. Not supernatural alone, but a punishment tailored to her. The platform had tracked her. Her audience had watched her manipulate fear, danger, and tragedy for entertainment. Now it had created its own justice. Her hands shook as she raised the phone. She realized she had no more control over the stream, her life, or the path ahead. The figure took one step forward. The chat froze mid-message. Every viewer, everywhere, seemed to hold their breath in synchronized terror. And in a voice only she could hear, whispering through static in her own mind, he said, you wanted viewers. You wanted clicks. You wanted fame. Now the last broadcast belongs to me. Willow's knees buckled. Her followers watched. Some typed prayers. Some typed disbelief. Most typed, she's trolling. Surely this is scripted. But she knew. The world she had curated had turned on her. And the last broadcast was about to prove it. Willow Hart's mind raced faster than her body could move. Her boots skidded against the icy gravel as she tried to put distance between herself and the figure, but the road betrayed her. Every step forward seemed to loop back, every turn returning her to the same frozen clearing where her car waited, spike strips still lodged like a warning from fate. Her phone vibrated violently in her hands, the chat now a storm of disbelief, hysteria, and ghoulish fascination. Loop. CGI. ARG confirmed, scrolled past in impossible speed. But she didn't care. The viewers could speculate. She had no intention of surviving long enough for their analysis. Then she noticed it, the spike strip wasn't random. Its jagged tips glistened unnaturally in the late afternoon sun. Rusted, yes, but embedded in it were tiny symbols, carved with precision. She squinted closer. Strange, angular markings. Not letters she recognized, but a pattern, geometric, deliberate. Her mind connected the dots with a sickening clarity. Every accident she had filmed, the cliff jumps, the canyon falls, even that viral fire stunt, had mirrored the symbols. Each stunt she broadcasted had been recorded in some way, analyzed, replicated in this place. And the spike strip? It wasn't meant to stop her. It was a signal, the first piece in a puzzle that the figure had built. A message appeared in the chat, unlike any before. The viewers only see what you allow. We see what you cannot hide. Willow froze. The realization hit like a lightning strike. Her audience, the platform itself, the mysterious backroad keeper, were part of a system that didn't just track streams, it punished the reckless. Her fame, her career, her carefully curated persona, it had all fed this mechanism. And now she was the subject. The figure emerged from the pines fully, stepping onto the road with a calm, almost ceremonial precision. Each step left a footprint not in snow but in light, faintly glowing before fading into the gravel. Willow tried to run again, but the road seemed to contract. It wasn't her legs or lungs that failed, it was the very geometry of the place. "You," she gasped, pointing. "You built this?" The figure did not respond. Instead, the chat began typing on its own. "You built it. Every click, every thrill, every stunt you glorified, they live here now. And you are next." Willow's hands clenched around the phone. A surge of anger replaced her fear. "I'm not going to die for views," she screamed, voice raw. "You can't." A branch snapped behind her. She whirled. The figure was closer than before. Too close. And then she noticed the second horror, multiple shadows were emerging behind him, stretching from the forest like smoke. Not fully human, not fully animal, all twisted into the forms of people she had unknowingly inspired, the reckless teens who had tried to replicate her canyon jump, the campers she had encouraged to explore unmarked trails, even the climbers she had urged into dangerous ascents. The spike strip, the road, the endless loop, they were not random. They were traps, carefully laid. Every stunt, every click, had built this place. Willow fell to her knees, tears freezing on her cheeks. I didn't mean." The figure extended a hand. A single finger pointed at her livestream phone. The screen shimmered, and for the first time, she saw herself clearly reflected, not as she was, but as she had been in every viral clip, reckless, performative, untouchable. Then the chat went completely dark. Not a single message. And the platform, the algorithm, the followers who had watched and cheered, vanished from the stream. She was alone. Except for the figure. And the spike strip. Willow's body trembled, frozen in the icy grasp of the clearing. The spike strip gleamed under the fading sun, its rusted teeth like a crown of judgment. The figure in front of her remained still, unblinking, faceless yet somehow alive with intent. Behind him, the shadows, shapes of the reckless, the imitators, the forgotten victims of her stunts, shifted with unnatural grace, circling her like a predator's feast waiting to begin. Her phone still streamed, yet the chat was gone. The millions who had watched her thrive, scream, and manipulate reality were gone too. The silence was deafening, leaving only her ragged breathing and the whispering whine through the pines. Willow fell to her knees. I didn't mean to," her voice broke, drowned by the enormous weight of culpability she had refused to acknowledge. The figure tilted its head, motionless but commanding. She felt a pressure in her chest, as if the air itself were judging her, weighing her sins. Slowly, she raised the phone. The screen shimmered, her own reflection stared back, eyes wide with terror. But for the first time, she noticed something else, behind her reflection, the faintest outline of the figure's hand, poised, not to strike, but to guide. A soft vibration ran through the phone, and text appeared across the screen. "Your last broadcast begins now." Willow's stomach nodded. "I don't understand." "You've shown the world what you wanted them to see. Now you must see what they've built for you." Suddenly, the shadows began to shift faster, forming recognizable scenes from her past videos. The cliff jump in Utah, the canyon livestream, the wildfire stunt, each moment replayed in real time as a spectral tableau. The figures moved in slow motion, yet with perfect clarity. Willow watched, horrified, as the consequences of every action, every person endangered, every life touched, played like a twisted highlights reel. Her hands shook violently. "Stop, please. I was just entertainment." The figure stepped forward. Its face remained hidden, but its presence radiated an undeniable authority. The shadows of her past, a reflection of reckless ambition and negligence, closed in slowly, mirroring the movement of the spikes embedded in the road. Each step Willow took seemed mirrored in the snow behind her, yet the tracks weren't hers, they belonged to something else entirely. The phone screen flickered, glitching violently. And then, in a whisper that carried from the speakers into Willow's very bones, she heard her own words from earlier. "Someone's here." It wasn't her voice. It was him, the figure, repeating her fear back to her, a final, horrifying confirmation that she was utterly observed, utterly powerless. The snow under her knees began to glow faintly, illuminating each step she had taken since entering the unmarked road. The spike strip reflected back at her, the rust gleaming like the edge of a knife. The platform, the viewers, the algorithm, they were all gone. And yet, in the stream, the viewer count ticked upward, into the millions, as if the broadcast had taken on a life of its own. Willow's lips trembled. What do you want from me?" A single word appeared on the screen, typed not by fingers but by something else entirely. "Witness." The figure extended its hand, and for the first time, Willow understood. She would not leave the road. She would not escape. Her audience, millions strong, had demanded spectacle, had demanded thrill. And now, she was to become the ultimate performance, forever trapped in the looping, spectral road, a cautionary figure broadcast endlessly to viewers who could never intervene, never understand. Willow's phone flickered one last time before freezing, her terrified whisper echoing through the stream. "Someone's here." And then, the screen went black. When investigators finally replayed the footage weeks later, they noticed the shadow in her car window, the footprints that appeared and vanished, the road that didn't exist on any map. But most haunting of all was the platform's record. The live stream continued for hours after her disappearance, with a viewer count climbing relentlessly, even though no one was watching, or perhaps everyone was. Her last broadcast had ended. And yet, somehow, it had only just begun.